I'll Say She Is was the Broadway debut of the Marx Brothers. It opened in New York in 1924, and it was the greatest success of their stage career.
They had toiled in vaudeville, worked very hard since they were children, and the next step for them was Broadway. They were so happy and the material was so good that they had a huge monster hit. The reviews talked about them in terms that you seldom ever hear. You know, giants, once in a century, geniuses.
Well, what do you think?
Get me a brick.
It influenced every Marx Brothers project which followed, especially their next two Broadway shows, The Coconuts and Animal Crackers. Those are beloved classics of comedy because they became the first two Marx Brothers movies, and they're revived on stage all the time. But I'll Say She Is slipped through history's fingers.
No full type script exists. No full song catalog exists.
It's an entire Broadway show that was never on film. And so that gets to be, you know, like this mystery, like a holy grail. You want to see it and you want to know about it.
What we have for you tonight is a reconstruction. If you remember Jurassic Park, the way they did the dinosaurs, 80 or 90% of the DNA is real dinosaur DNA, and the rest is from frogs. Ladies and gentlemen, Noah Diamond is that frog.
Noah started searching for bits and pieces of it, connected with people whose grandfathers wrote the music and words, or people who knew more about it.
He would go to old newspapers to maybe find a line that had been mentioned in the original version so he could work it back in. Like, there was real love in this.
I spent 6 years researching I'll Say She Is, digging up everything I could find, and filling in the gaps with fragments that I discovered and restoring it to stage-worthy form. It was presented first as a series of staged readings at Marx Fest, New York City's Marx Brothers Festival, and then in a beautiful workshop in the 2014 New York International Fringe Festival. And that was the first time anyone had seen this show since 1925.
Now, just a moment. Wait a minute. He might be crazy. Wait, I'll find out. You want to go on the stage? Crazy.
The Marx Brothers were always essentially a live act. And if you have performers who can convincingly embody the Marx Brothers, then giving their material to a live audience reveals it in its full splendor. Their characters and their visual presentation were also obviously pitched for the cheap seats. It was designed for an audience, and their comedy is fundamentally theatrical.
There's an authenticity and an interaction and a spark and an energy. You don't find this in every production. You don't find this in every ensemble.
Hey, these fellas are very clever. They're funny fellas. And I've got a play that I've written that I'd like to explain to you.
Now we're ready to take it to the next level. In the spring of 2016 at the Connelly Theater, we'll present a fully realized production of I'll Say She Is, just as silly and splendid an extravaganza as it was on Broadway 90 years ago. Eye-filling visual spectacle, spectacular musical numbers, and woven throughout it, of course, the exhilarating comedy of the Marx Brothers.
I'll Say She Is the answer to a dream for a good many people. It is unbridled joy.
And now, without further ado, we give you for the first time in 90 years, the Marx Brothers' I'll Say She Is.
Rich man and poor